Baruch Hashem Rish Chodesh Aleph Mar Cheshvan. Yesterday we were learning how this Eirus that a Yid gets Milamayla is not the real Avodah, because this Eirus is only a way to start you off. But you have to then take this Eirus and use it as a springboard to continue your Avodah, to Hemshech this idea of Machniya the Nefesh Bahamis, and really to complete it, because this Eirus alone cannot do it. Only through your Avodah, working off this Eirus, that's where it could get done. V'hinei Havodah hazois shebevchinas pnimius harei mekayach atzmai. This avodah where you internalize it, it's from your own work. Shemegeas atzmai, you work very hard, you toil, be splendid with your contemplation. B'shiyah nirgash bepnimius, that it should be felt inside, inner feeling. Sorry, chazem, for that you need the yigas basar, toiling your soul, yigas nefesh v'yigas basar, toiling of the soul and toiling of the flesh. Chen l'tz'er b'avayira, also to awaken yourself through avayira. Hagam shba b'derech ilav, even though it usually comes as it causes an effect from this eros. Mikol makom tarich hachana al zeh, be prepared for this. Get yourself ready from your own avodah. V'shkatzim zeh v'divar masach b'chol ha'imroim rish tamacheh. Even though all of this is from the awakening that Milamayla, which opens your soul, and even when you're doing your contemplation and getting excited, this is Bainanu still exists. Behelim is still internally existent, and it's there. The internal contemplation and the feeling, the inside feeling, and the awakening of Avavira, it's all from your own work. It comes from the strength and the power, and it's initiated by this awakening Milamayla. If that wouldn't happen, the contemplation will not be, his dark design will not be proper. And will not be. Sorry, I skipped the line. Let's go back. Basis when you're contemplating, you actually have to conceal the excitement that's only there mitzad this erus. The awakening will not be the way it has to be, because if it's all still this erus is still there, then it's all boif and mak. If it will not be able to be internalized. If it's you, it's only a help. That you should be able to have a contemplation. But the general avodah is on your own. And this is the main avodah. So this awakening that Hemshech gives you is not an avodah. It's an introduction. That avodah should happen through this. Excitement. Through surrounding, through makif, it's not avodah. So it doesn't affect, and it's not shaykh to actually doing Torah mitzvahs, to actually cleansing the nefesh bahamis. You actually need it inside. The awakening in the morning, which, as we said earlier, is awakening the loiv and eliyah in the high levels of the Eibishter. This is an introduction that there should later be an avodah through davening. But awakening itself, ain't avodah, is not avodah. This is not comparable to the aval yoina, which is drawn down through Aaron, the great kohen. Which through the love itself is avodah. It's a very, very high avodah. In that case, the ava itself is an avodah. So that's the ava that's nimshach through Aaron. But it's urus that we said also nimshach through Aaron. It's not an avodah on its own. It's only an introduction. Or perhaps we can say Shezeu ki inyan hafresh. This is like the difference between Chanukas HaNesim la'avodas Aaron b'adlok saneres. This is like the difference between the Nesim bringing the Chanukas HaMizbeach before the Mishkan was created to the avodah of the adlok saneres. She'omar loy, which Moshe Rabbeinu told Aaron, Chayecha, I promise you on your life, Shalcha Gadol Mishalem, your avodah is greater. The idea of education, you educate a child to go to school. You educate him that he should later go on his own. The main principle of this education is it's only the beginning. Like a father educating a young son, and takes him to school. The main idea is that he should later go on his own. And should accept in a good manner whatever he learns. That's why you need first, the father should go with him. And he should give him a lot of presents and givings. And you make him excited, you'll uplift his heart through the avoid of Yamin Mekareves, extra love, extra giving, more than you should. You give him lots of presents which are very important in the eyes of the child. In order to lift his soul, to awaken him. You should be excited about this first time he's going. And then he can go on his own. This is the same idea of Chanuk Sabayis. Same idea when you do this to the house, right when you go in. So Chanuk is basically Mishtul Suda. You have to make a party and a Suda, or maybe it's your friends bring you presents. Come on, you mustn't serve to bring you good food. They bless you. You should be successful in this house. She called to Hemshech this all drawing down brachas from the Mazel Elyon. She Yishkim Abayis said that the Mazel Elyon should rest in this home. Litin le koyach habracha, to give you koyach and the blessing, b'hasheva, b'parnasa, and abundance in parnasa, ubanei chaya, and children in life. To give a blessing in your house. The place, v'habayis, in the home, goyim causes the bracha to come down. Through this education or chanuk sabayis, this nimshach akach mitzad mokim abayis, the place of the house itself causes you should have success, and draw down blessing in everything you do. The same idea, you can understand when the mizbeach was crowned, was inaugurated through the Nisim. Okay, we know about the external mizbeach. The Eish Tommy took it on the Mizbech, and a fire will always shine on the Mizbech. They cleansed 288 Nitzutzim. The idea of the Mizbech HaChitzon and the Karbonis, it's like the Avodah Tefillah, love and flaming fire. The Eish Zed the Kedusha, this fire of holiness, so it burns and consumes Eish Zara del Umazeh, the strange fire of Klipa. This is why first we needed Chanukas HaMizbeach. We had to have a Chanukas HaNesim, the Nesim had to come and do a Chanukah, but he be Karbanis with lots of Karbanis. V'gam HaKtaris, K'teres HaMizbeach HaChitzon, we also had to have K'teres HaMizbeach HaChitzon. They draw down a very high level of art, which that's idea of Torahs. This gives koyach and strength. In the Mizbeach, koyach halos man be'eshmul maila, that it should be able to draw up from the fire milamato to then continue and consume it. So just like when you inaugurate a house, people bring you presents that the house should then on its own be able to bring it to Sefas Bracha. We have to have a lot of karbanis and a lot of ketores to allow this, to give the koyach to the mizbeach to then later continue and allow us to do the avodah to bring it. This should now have the mizbeach have koyach on its own, moving forward without any stopping. Like it says, Eish Tamid Tukah, there should constantly be a fire. The first time, but the first time you need extra drawing of the koyach. That later, the drawing up of our avodah, the ma'im nukvim, the avodah samata, should be able to be drawn up on its own. The avodah of Aaron, it's midis. It's constant. It didn't just happen at the time when they inaugurated the Mishkan. It's always happening. It's not like education or inauguration. It's the actual avodah. To draw into the Yidden this love which is higher than Tam Vadas. To draw on them etzem the ka'er of the Eibishter b'chinas pnei menorah, the face of the menorah. Shal dezeh yis'eru b'chinas avarabah, which then they could awaken themselves through the avavir, like we said earlier, through the avarabah, like we said earlier. Ve'inzik ma'akdam, it's not an introduction of ez avodah to some avodah. Imi avodah atzma, it's actual avodah. So this is the difference of the avodas Aaron, where he's giving us so the avodah of Aaron, the ava itself is an avodah to be later mamshech to the Yidden, but this eretz is not avodah mitzad itself. So even in the Hemshech Aaron, we have kind of these two inyanim. We have the idea of the akdama, how it sort of looks like, and we have this introduction to avodah. It's a little shver because it seems like he's going back on what he said earlier. Said on page Kuf that it says Eretz Aliki Ba'aloisches Haneris. Right, Aaron was mamshech avarabah liyas b'vchinas ratzoi. Misham nimshach to be avarabah. And then we talk about all these. This eros is not. This is eros which is not an avodah. And then we said einu dem b'vchinas aval liyas nimshach the Aaron. The av itself is an avodah. Avos eros anal. So I guess there's two things here. So the avodah. L'chorei brought the idea of the avodas Aaron as an example for us Eros, but that's not us Eros. And here he's saying the difference. It's more like his Eros is more like the Chanukah and Nesim, or the Vayashkim Lov and Beboiker, the idea that you get as Eros Milamayla when you wake up. But Aaron, Tzaka Mamshech, Pnei Menorah, which is the Avodah itself. Hanaviyim Chasniyos Aviyim Simchasliba Bismam Besamigdash Haya Efshar Liyas Avodah Zubin Hashem Yisrael. We can actually Liyas Al Yedei Simcha Shal Mitzvah. We can accomplish the same idea through Simcha Mitzvah. V'ayin Mashkas Terer Dever Masalat Tzava. Same idea, not that we also have an awakening which happens sudden. It's it's eros that later you can work on your own. Like educating a child, you give him a big present to lift the soul. Later you should go on your own excitement and your own will. It's eros which happens suddenly. Should go through davening and avodah and avavira b'kirav lelikus. You should always go in this way. Like we said earlier, through avodah, an internal avodah. Want to become close, so you can now be constantly in this avodah, and you go higher and closer, going and traveling. You do not need the awakening again. You could go higher and keep going on your own strength. But the avarab of Aaron ends in b'chinas akdama. But the avarab of Aaron does not akdama. Does the avodah which comes later, which now you're ready to go up mitzad etzem nafshe. So taka Aaron gives you like Aaron maybe gives you the Hemshech for that, but that itself is the avodah. So we kind of started by saying that Aaron is the akdama of the avodah, but really we're bavarning here that that's not the case. That is the avodah itself. It was just an example. It's more like the Chanukah and Nesim or is eros above pisan of makam achim revur the gam avodah b'chinas pnimis anal ugam kin mikayach hadloks anersa Aaron. Somewhere else it says that also avodah pnimis comes from Aaron. From mashkatz mechutz laparechas yarech is Aaron. Ksiv v'hal is Aaron. Ksiv yarech is about avodah lis avodah b'chinas mechilimitis. Yarech means to set it out. That's avodah mechilimitis. So we kind of see that both avodas, the side avodah b'chinas pnimis comes from Aaron, the side avodah of avarab comes from Aaron. So you see over here, yarech is about avodah lis yarech lashon siddur, setting it up. Which a tirgim unkles yarech isader. V'gam lashon erech, like yarech also means equality. If you in dimion, comparison. It's comparable to me. You should be comparable to the Eibishter to connect to the Eibishter's midas. It's avoided through your 10 kaiches lis b'dmus shalamayla to be comparable to the Eibishter lamayla. V'zeh gamkin in our siddur, and our siddur as our spheres shebenefesh legavi nafshe, to organize your 10 spheres in your soul should be comparable to the weight of lamayla. The kasher chabad shebenefesh, to connect your moichin, your chabad in your soul, el chabad shalamayla. And how do you do that? Al dei Torah. It's through Torah, b'shlemer, gamkin al dei asag v'esbenus, also through grasping and contemplating be'elokos. Could be this is part of the dabuk b'midaisav, which means it's not necessarily only midas, it's also moichin. You also connected through Torah mitzvahs. Gam inyan erech and midas shal pesechel. There's also midas which come through sechel. Boyin b'derech ilav olam sechel, which come as a cause and effect, the direct output of the sechel. If you do shekol olul, any output is the erech v'yichus elilasa. It's connected to the what caused it. Aval in vahalas aron. So this is yarechis aron. But the idea of vahalas aron in avar rabba shalom al masechel. The idea of uplifting. It's higher than sechel. Vaynish adam nasim b'chinas ma'od. You become a level of ma'od. V'yalol b'chinas atmos erin seif. She'ein arich l'cha. It's uplifting to the level of atmos erin seif, which there's no comparison. Which kasma kamacher bin an elav v'loy l'midas of him and not to his midos. If you do it, the benefesh gamkin b'chinas hamidas shalmayla me'asechel. Ein sham inyan erech. Midas that are higher than seichel do not have any idea of comparison. According to this, the actual avodah of moichin midas is in the person from his own strength. He is davuk b'midaisav to be connected in his midas. Aaron Hemshech koyach al zeh. Aaron draw down this koyach al dei harach saneders through setting up the candles. So we have these two ideas. Of Aruch's Yarechis and Aaron of Alas Aaron. This idea of my Yigashel Yehuda. Yehuda b'chinas Malchus. In order to uplift Malchus, Zel adei Hemshech M'mayla. V'alderech l'chadoidi l'kas kala. V'aliyas for Shabbos. Shezel adei Gilam M'mayla. You need to have a Gilam M'mayla. Like we said at the beginning, you need to have his erus. K'maykinim aliyas Malchus b'derech klal. V'agilu, how do you have Aliyam b'chinas Yosef, Tzadik Elyon. Shemam shechar M'mayla, b'chinas Malchus, liyas aliyas Malchus. Which Tzadik Elyon draws it and allows it to be L'mayla. Tomorrow we'll continue the Oisper of the Maimer, and we'll start the next Maimer, An Shuldik, Ki Eini Toisai B'yadi. Verelchen Tag.